am super excited to welcome New Orleans native, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, and internationally acclaimed STEM advocate and educator, Dr. Calvin Mackie. Dr. Mackie, a former tenured Tulane engineering professor, first founded STEM NOLA in 2013 to expose, inspire, and engage communities in learning STEM. Their award-winning programs provide activities, events, and virtual learning to communities. Before the pandemic, the organization specialized in hosting events and bringing STEM experiences to urban neighborhoods. And over the past 8 years, STEM NOLA, which is now an affiliate of STEM Global Action, has engaged more than 70,000 students, 17,000 families, and over 2,000 schools across the nation and in 5 other countries. Whew, I gotta catch my breath with all these accolades. Welcome, Dr. Mackie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Brittany. Thank you for having me.
Of course, I'm really excited. I've been looking forward to this all week. You earned your BS in math and mechanical engineering from Morehouse and Georgia Tech, respectively. Afterwards, that just wasn't enough for you. You said, hey, I need a master's and a Ph.D. I'm gonna keep on going, also in mechanical engineering. And like I said earlier, you worked in academia for over a decade. So Dr. Mackie, growing up, what kind of student were you? Were you always into math and science and kind of nerdy, or just naturally gifted?
Well, Brittany, let me put it to you like this. I like when people read my bio and they talk about those things, because I like to say my name is Calvin Mackie. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm from Backertown, Gertown, Zion City. I'm from the Lower 9 where we don't mind dying. I'm from that Wild Magnolia. I thought I told you. I'm from that CP3. You know me. The only thing I'm trying to say, Brittany, is that I started from the bottom and now I'm here. Yes, I graduated from Morehouse, but a lot of people don't know that I started Morehouse from remedial reading, developmental mathematics. And 11 years later, I have 4 STEM degrees, a BS in math from Morehouse, a BS, MS, and PhD, mechanical engineering from Georgia Tech. Now that's gangster. When a young brother can start in remedial reading, developmental math, and then 11 years later have 4 STEM degrees. And I say that to say, many of the young men and women that's in our inner cities and urban areas, I am them and they are me. And we gotta believe that our children, from where they are right now, can go anywhere in the world. And I offer my life as proof that if the community invests and believe, then our youth will respond.
Absolutely. So was that Juvenile that you were quoting?
That was Juvenile, the Hot Boys, Lil Wayne, Master P.
All of my favorites. I knew it sounded familiar, but I was just like, me trying to intertwine this PhD life with Juvie. I was like, oh, okay, but great. So it seems like the answer is you were just naturally a genius.
And I like to say this, the answer is yes, and they are geniuses all over our communities that we have to mine. It blows my mind how colleges believe that they are naturally gifted athletes in our communities, and you see these coaches in our communities, but these same universities don't believe that they are naturally gifted geniuses in our communities, such that you never see the deans and the vice presidents and the presidents and professors in our community looking for that talent. So, maybe, now it's easy when you look at the outcome to say, damn, dude. But on the front end, nobody was going, damn, dude.
Right, you're absolutely correct. And that's where you step in. So still a little bit more so people, I think it's very inspirational that people know you don't necessarily have to start from here. You can, as you said, start from the bottom and now you're there. So you have a younger brother, actor Anthony Mackie, who is an actor, went to Juilliard, 2 completely different paths. So what was it like growing up in the Mackie household? I know your dad had a roofing company, so entrepreneurial blood goes through your veins, and you guys both, it goes without saying, have been phenomenally successful. So what was your upbringing like?
It's crazy. Like, we're one of 6. We're one of 6, and Anthony is the youngest.
Okay.
We're a decade apart. So our house was a very lively house. I mean, you can imagine all the big personalities. I got three sisters with big personalities. My older brother, my older brother owns a club in New Orleans, and he has the talent that I have and the talent Anthony has. He has all of it, right? So our house was a very gregarious, talkative, joking, arguing. I mean, everybody had opinions. So the personality that you see in Anthony that comes out on the screen is really the genes from my mom and my dad. So that, that was the platform to let us know, one, that, my daddy told us, look, man, the greatest risk in the world is waking up, going to work with somebody every day. When I got my Ph.D., I got tenure. My daddy came to the tenure party. He was in a corner and he was drinking a gin and tonic and he was smoking a cigarette. And he said, boy, this tenure thing must be important. I see all these potent people here. I said, Daddy, I got tenure for life. He said, what that mean? I said, Dad, I got a job for life. He took a draw on that cigarette, took a little sip of that gin. He said, boy, I don't know what tenure is, but I don't know one man that'll take care of another man for the rest of his life. You better keep getting up and doing something for yourself. Now, Brittany, that's wisdom, right? I got all this education. Anthony Juilliard, he got education, but my dad had wisdom because when Hurricane Katrina hit, Tulane shut down the engineering school. As the first and only African-American ever tenured in the history of the College of Engineering at Tulane University, I lost my job. With 8 people living in my house, including my dad. And if I had not been doing something for myself, me and my family would have been out on the street. So we grew up in a house full of wisdom that come from old souls, not so much all this education that people get from books.
And it sounds like your dad made sure that you remained humble.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. We had to cut the grass.
That's just the tip of the iceberg with stories. But it was, I'm sure you appreciate the tough love now, clearly.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. My employees don't understand me. My dad, he had a roofing company and he'd just verbally destroy us all day. And then once we get back to the warehouse, he'd be like, y'all want a beer? Nobody want to drink beer with you now, man.
After all that did you ever intern or work with your dad at the company?
Oh, that's the only job I ever had. I mean,
okay.
Time I was 7 years old, every summer and every weekend. So really, that's where our work ethic come from, right? We had a mom holding down the family, and we had a father who was drilling work ethic into it. And he got up every day, rain or shine, and he went and put it down so his family could survive. A roofer who dropped out of school in the 8th grade to pick cotton, who barely can read and write, built a large roofing company in the city of New Orleans. So that's where it comes from, being able to see that every day.
Right. And obviously your mom had the toughest job, 6 of you all. That in itself, I don't think people give enough credit. For me, is even more difficult. No offense to everybody else.
Hey, I got 2. And every day I pray. I mean, God bless my mom's soul. I lost my mom and my dad, previously. And I look back going, wow, they were amazing human beings. And parents to do what they did under the conditions. And we got a lot of stuff now. They didn't even have a lot of stuff. And they put together this thing called family.
Yes. So that was a little synopsis of Dr. Mackie's environment, how he has this huge personality and super grinder work ethic now. But now, so we're going to fast forward. And so the term STEM, I guess, became popular or known in the early 2000s. And I believe in 2001 was when it was formally introduced. And even now, it's still like the sexy buzzword, but I found that there are very few organizations that are able to create sustainable and effective programs like you have done. So, Dr. Mackie, without, spilling all your trade secrets, why do you think that's the case, and what makes your organization so special to be able to do what it has?
First and foremost, thank you, Brittany, for doing your research, right? Because a lot of people think STEM has been around. In 1999, I wrote a paper it was published in 1999, called Promoting the Study of Science, Math, Engineering, and Technology Using Video Programming in Urban School Districts. Before it was STEM, it was SMET, S-M-E-T, right? And we had a big panel and people came together because it said SMET sounds too much like smut. So we had to have a damn meeting to rearrange the words to come up with STEM. So a lot of people, know STEM, but they don't know SMET. And I say, I've been doing this when it was SMET, when it was MET, when it was ET, when it was TET. And now I'm happy to be doing it when it was STEM. So the point is, we founded STEM Laude in 2013, and now we've engaged well over 70,000 kids and 17,000 families. We put over $1.5 million into the hands of college students that we engage in the community, who go in and mentor and facilitate these activities with our K-12 kids. And Brittany, what I've had, which most people don't have, if I've had the opportunity of life experiences, right? I mean, I was in this before it was STEM. So a lot of people jumping into it now because it's STEM and it's sexy and they think that's where the money is. But coming into this, I knew we had to create something, one that was operationable, but also that was sustainable. So we were able to bring together this system that I've really been working on 20 years. I tell people, look, they say, what happened if social media go away? I said, suck, I was doing this before there was a Facebook. You know what I mean? I still got my MySpace page where I was talking about STEM. I was doing this before there was an internet, I was doing STEM. So the bottom line is that I've been able to pick and see which worked, what didn't work, and then put it together and avoid the pit holes that many people now are going down into. And they say, well, Mackie, you don't partner with people. I said, because that bull you're doing ain't gonna work. We tried it in 1999, we tried it in 2005, 2010, it ain't gonna work. So now for 8 years, we've created a sustainable organization doing 7 figures a year, engaging kids in STEM. And the model is now scalable, transferable, and reproducible. And we're looking to take this model and put in other urban areas so that communities can own it, own their solution, modify it for their community, and then engage their community so that kids can see the possibilities of the 21st century.
So like you said, you're not new to this, you're true to this. So let them all know.
True to this. I go to the barber shop and the cat like, look, man, bro, I hope you trademark that STEM stuff because Obama always talking about STEM now, man. I think he's trying to take your stuff. So we talk about it. He said, man, you brought the lexicon, the STEM lexicon to the community. And Brittany, that's what we're very proud of as an organization. We have common everyday people talking about STEM and asking questions about what should my kid be doing. We're changing a behavior pattern of parents around Christmas time. Parents are now coming to us going, what should I be buying? Instead of buying these tennis shoes, instead of buying these clothes, what do you think I should be buying? Because I didn't know my daughter was interested. I didn't know my son was interested in that. So now we're literally changing the conversation in the community with parents so that they can make better decisions. I don't like to say better decisions. They can make more informed decisions about the actions that they take so that they get different outcomes with their sons and daughters.
So, and what I like, and you talked about this, what you're doing versus others is public engagement with STEM versus just teaching or the technicalities of STEM. And I think that's a competitive advantage and what others have not figured out what to do because it's important. And I've read many of your articles, seen a lot of the YouTube videos. And like you said, it seems like the parents now are also excited, not only that their children are excited about something else beyond dolls and sports. And there's nothing wrong with that, but.
Well, but that's, you said don't give away the trade secret. That is the trade secret, right? People think it's about two things. They think it's about STEM, and they think it's about the kids. So other people, they say, we're doing coding, right? There are people that have gotten $1 million for coding and not a damn person know how to code. But they got their picture online. They put on press releases. They on TV talking about coding. They on magazine like I'm the code king. And not a damn kid know how to code. Hell, the kid came and spell code, right? Everybody now putting out press releases about what they gonna do. We say we don't talk about the work that we gonna do. We talk about the work that we've done. So we only put out press releases about what we have done. The secret is that the kids in the STEM are the Trojan horse to get to the parents. So we have these big events. The kids got to bring, the parents got to bring the kids. We make a lot of bells and whistles, but the parents got to stay the first 30 minutes. In that first 30 minutes, I got to say something or present somebody that says something to really touch those parents in their heart, to the parents and go, look, this is different. And you know how we do this. We have our activities in recreation facilities. And in 3 hours, we transform recreation facilities into laboratories. So the kids show up thinking that they go into a gym. They mad, the parents mad. But when they walk in, they're like, oh, is going on? They're like, this is something different. So they haven't figured it out yet. So now they got to pay attention.
Mhm.
So at our events in 3 hours, we take kids who wasn't even interested in STEM and give them an experience such that 3 hours later, they walk away going, this just may be a possibility, right? But then the parents see something different in their daughter or their son. And then they say, well, what's going on here? And
Right.
then that's when that triangular conversation start going on between the kid, the parent, and us. So the parent can make better informed decisions.
And Dr. Mackie, these programs are primarily done in what's the term? I like the term that you use. It wasn't disadvantaged and not underserved. What was it?
I say, location is very important to us. So we believe in STEM for all, but we specifically focus on low income, low resource communities. I grew up, I didn't have stuff. I wasn't disadvantaged. I just didn't have stuff that other people got. And this is an example I like to make, right? So I was a professor at Tulane University. And everybody knows Tulane University is a real wealthy university. In 12 years, I taught 14 Black kids. So, they had more football players than they had Black kids in engineering school. So Tulane is in uptown New Orleans, just like University of Miami. They're like sister schools, private schools. But on the side of town I grew up on, Tulane never covered. So I asked the question even today, if Tulane University disappears, what does that mean to my damn community? Mm-hmm. So when I started my STEM program, I put my STEM program in my community where I grew up. And I said, I really do believe if we could create something of value, people are going to come get it. So now we got people coming from other communities to the community where I grew up, who nobody would ever thought that people would be coming to our community. You know where they're coming from? Because they see something of value for their kids. Mm-hmm. When you got to leave your community to get something of value, society is implicitly telling you something about you and the value of your community. So now we're building a 42,000 square foot STEM innovation hub in the same community where I grew up. So now kids don't have to leave their community and go uptown where the wealthy people live or the well-to-do people live to get something of quality. If those people want it, they got to come to this community. And if they don't want to come, to hell with them.
Right. It seems like they're still coming.
Oh, they're coming. They're going to come.
Right. They're going to come because they recognize the value. So they say, you know what? We're going to take the risky commute to get something good for my child.
And an example I use is this. They never build stadiums in rich communities.
No.
They go where it's poor land and they build a stadium. And then they put value in that stadium. Brothers running up and down that field. And people say that's a value to me. And if people buy $100,000 and $1,000 tickets, I saw you at that fight, Brittany. Y'all buy them tickets and you go to the stadium. And I said, if they can put stadiums in our community and people traveling to these communities because it's something of value, why can't I create a STEM stadium, put value in it, and have people come to the whole region and then import economics into our community? So we can have stores, so we can have restaurants. Because now if we got people coming from a 150-mile radius where there's 400 different schools, what they're going to bring with them is economic development. And that's what we're doing. So this STEM thing is really, I say we're building STEM capacity through building community.
And that is actually, you said, you must have read my notes, but my question, because I'm a big, and you are too, economic development advocate. And I strongly believe that when the economic ills of our society are resolved, are worked on, then naturally the societal ills will be solved. So like you just mentioned, and I never even thought about an analogy with stadiums, but the same thing with, expressways. They always do it in lower resource. That's my new term, not disadvantaged, but lower resource neighborhoods because it's cheaper, and then they bring the value, and then everything else follows. So why, Dr. Mackie, do you still believe that Blacks, particularly, well, more than me, Black women or girls are still on the lower totem pole in terms of STEM education and professions?
And that's why it was very important when you talk about me and my brother. I had to say I got 3 sisters too, right? Everything I am and almost everything I shall become has almost been because of Black women. I got my Ph.D. My Ph.D. advisor with Dr. Carolyn Myers, who's the former president of Jackson State, former president of Norfolk State. I was walking down the hall. She saw me with a hat on my head. She slapped the hat off my head. And I'm like, lady, who are you? She said, she said, it doesn't matter who I am. I know your mama taught you different. Wow. And she was a professor at Georgia Tech, took me in her lab, and 8 years later, I was a doctor. When I, came to high school and people noticed I had a deficiency in reading, it was Miss Venison who took me under her wing and pushed me on. In fourth grade, it was Miss Carter. I mean, so the role that women have played in my life, it is almost, I'm obligated to make sure that women, and especially our Black and brown girls, get not equal access, but all the access they deserve to know the possibilities of the 21st century. I mean, STEM is still a white male-dominated industry. And then when they start talking about minorities and diversity, they're really talking about white women. When they really start talking about, let's get more minorities into STEM, the money really going to white women. So I am unapologetic about our need to focus on children who look like me and my sisters, who otherwise society continue to marginalize in every which way. There's a white girl missing in Wyoming, and I'm still trying to figure out why I know that. Hell, I'm trying to figure out where's Wyoming. You understand what I'm saying? Where's Wyoming? We can't even pick Wyoming out on the damn map. So when you see what society put value on, then you understand why we're underrepresented, because we are just not valued. My son said something to me that blew my mind. My son just got a full ride, full tuition, room, board, and fee scholarship to Howard University. I mean, and he's my son, and we've groomed him just like people groom athletes, such that all this will come his way. We told him, son, if you do this, this, and this gonna happen. And my son did this, and this. Because if I can't do it with my own, how people gonna trust me to do it with theirs? And my son did everything he was supposed to do. And people was giving him scholarships. But some schools that we really thought was gonna give him scholarships did not. And my son said something. He said, Daddy, Black lives may matter, but Black minds don't.
Ooh, that was very profound for anyone, let alone a teenager.
Brittany, I grabbed him, I kissed him on his head, and I said, son, you ready for the world. You ready for the world. And that's why we Black women are underrepresented. That's why, hell, if you look at medical school right now, medical schools are crying for Black males. There were more Black males into medical school in 1974 that's now entering now. So when you look at what society does value amongst us, when you start looking at how they value the culture and the things that they market to our children, when the richest, most wealthiest Black person in America is Robert Smith, who's a STEM person, who got a chemical engineering degree, who makes his money from flipping not houses, but flipping technology companies, but they only sell us Oprah, Michael Jordan, and Kanye, and Jay-Z. I'm a hustler, baby. I just want you to know it's not where I've been, but where I'm about to go. So where are we about to go? Because I'm teaching my kids about Robert Smith.
See, I was kept nodding because I thought the sermon was going to continue. But that's why I was like, oh. But anyway, I definitely, hopefully your son has already trademarked and made hats or shirts, because I would definitely purchase one.
There it is. I'm going to call him right now. Get it, son.
Hey, this can subsidize some. Well, he had a full ride, so you don't even have to pay tuition anyway.
There it is. But he can make money and then help other kids pay their tuition.
That is very altruistic and true. Let me be more kind-hearted on this Friday morning. I wasn't even thinking like that. You have amazing analogies. And one recent one I read, you said you compared Captain America's new indestructible vibranium used to help tackle life's toughest foes like racism, poverty, and discrimination, the doorway to the future, to STEM. And I thought that was brilliant, and also a way that people who, even though STEM is sexy and a buzzword, not everyone fully understands what it is and its value. So can you expound upon that a little more?
It's funny, right? So I'm watching, my brother was the Falcon, I'm watching him. And I'm like, bro, you never win any fights, right? You get in a fight with somebody, knock you across.
So big brother-ish of you. Okay.
You start flapping your wings. And then you become Captain America. You ain't got no superpower, bro. What's your superpower, right? So we get together. I got to rib him, right? You got no white man, bro. Got superpower. You need to drink that stuff. Go drink the stuff. But but his superpower is not, his superpower are the critical skills we need for the 21st century, like critical thinking, creativity. And then the uniform and everything that he wears, the vibranium he got from Wakanda, this is all STEM. If you look at Africa, right, in the continent of Africa, Africa is the richest continent in the world. It's just that to this day, people still continue to rape Africa for its minerals and materials, like vibranium, or uranium. Or the stuff they need to make semiconductors, or the stuff they need to make iPhone are being ripped out of Africa and put in other places, and such that it seems like other people got superpowers when they really don't. And the thing about it, and what I love about the Sam Wilson Captain America, that just happened to be my brother, is the role that STEM is playing in him now, achieving the things that he want to achieve for America. It's his mechanical wings, is the power of the vibranium suit, is the way he got to fly, is the red angel thing that he deployed. I mean, all of the stuff that we are trying to get the kids is right there on the screen. So while Joan and my brother, Dog and my brother, I said, damn, there's a connection here. And that connection is the new Captain America is really the Captain America of STEM. And he's showing our kids the possibility that they can do that. Robert Smith, right? Look at the wealth and economic development he's creating because he has conquered the world of STEM. And STEM really, people, is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And it's really an acronym for all those different things that you can do, whether it's a career or even a trade, to participate in. So from the plumber to the electrician, to the electrical engineer, to the computer scientist, all those things comprise that which we call STEM.
And I forgot to ask before, what did SMET stand for?
Same thing, just the letters in a different way, just science, math, engineering, technology.
You know what? I feel so stupid. You are right. In my head, I kept thinking, and then when it was never smut. It just sounded too much like that.
Much like smut.
Because I kept on thinking, what would you be for? But trying to pay attention. But okay, now it all makes sense. Okay, thank you.
And that's the crazy part, right? Look, the engineering community, they really thought the problem was the sound of the word. No, the problem ain't the sound of the word. The problem is that you're not communicating with the people in a way that they can digest what you're saying, such that we can get the response that we need. And that's what STEM NOLA has been able to do. Talk to our community in a way. And I don't know, maybe people never thought they'd be hearing a Ph.D. in engineering talk like I'm talking, but I'm able to go into communities and talk to communities in a way that they say, you know what? One, you one of us. Two, I believe in you. Three, I can trust you. What should I be doing with my kid? That's the same thing they do with athletes and entertainers, right? And that's where we have to get to as STEM. We can't go talk down the people down our nose.
Right.
We got to meet people where they are and speak a language that they can receive so they can say, hey, let's roll.
So one of the qualifications, Dr. Mackie, if I want to do this here in Miami, if I can quote Drake, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, and one other, I'll do Young Miami from City Girls. That's like one of the criteria in the interview. I can do that.
Well, I mean, you might want to do Trick Daddy, Luke, or somebody else, right?
You're right. Or add those two, something regional. All right, check.
And that's the thing, right? And that's what we need to talk about, creating STEM Miami, because this is a model you could take, put in Miami, and engage the entire community. And that's why we believe that, communities need to own a solution. We're not trying to bring STEM NOLA to Miami. We want to take the model, like McDonald's, right? 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, sesame seed bun, bring the model to Miami and have you run the model such that you get the same results. We just need somebody, or you need to find somebody that's just what I call an edu-evangelist, right? They're just as passionate about STEM as anybody else to be out there forward-facing, telling the community about it. So, if you can't quote Luke or Trick Daddy, we can find somebody else.
Okay, that can fill in and step in for you. All right, that's fair. So Dr. Mackie, anyone who's listening, which I would think would be everyone who's now even more excited about STEM now and wants to get involved, if they live in New Orleans or not, how can they find you or your organization online?
Thank you for asking that question, because we're now getting inquiries from around the world. We're going to be starting hopefully STEM Tanzania and maybe STEM Ghana. So people they have incomes asking, how can we do this? So we've been on a campaign to rebrand like STEM NOLA to STEM Global Action, where STEM NOLA, STEM Miami, STEM Tanzania, STEM Illinois, all that will just be affiliates under this big umbrella, STEM Global Action. So people can go to stemglobalaction.com or stemnola.com and find all the information that they need. With the COVID pivot, we're now doing stuff virtually, and we engage in kids in 47 states and in 5 countries. So especially for the parents, the aunts, the grandmother, grandfather, I don't care. If you got a grandson, a daughter, or a son you want to get involved, go sign up for the newsletter. And every time we have an event, you'll get the information. And most of the time it's free because we are soliciting sponsors to pay for shipping so that we can ship kits across the world. And if it's not free, the programming is definitely free. There'll be a small shipping and handling fee for the kit to offset expenses. So.
Awesome. So parents, if you can't pay shipping and handling, if that's even there, then you need to reevaluate your parenting skills.
Yep. But we've never turned anybody down. I mean, even in New Orleans, we say if you get free lunch, you get it for free. And if you don't, you got to pay. And they say, what if people lie? I said, if they're going to lie to get STEM free for their kids, shame on them. Right. But I don't want to lose that genius because the parents own something different. That
is true. You should not punish the child, and that's how I have to think because of ignorance elsewhere.
But I do try to shame the parent, though. I let the parent know. I'm like,
you were like, no, let me finish, though. But they do get chastised. Okay.
I write letters. I mean, parents sign up for events, and then they don't show. I write a very stern letter. Not only did your kid did not get what you signed up for the kid to get, but by doing this, you blocked the opportunity for another kid.
Right.
And that is unacceptable.
It's
again,
selfish both ways.
It's selfish both ways. And I'm unapologetic about challenging adults to be better adults because the children don't decide.
Right. Now, Dr. Mackie, this part of my podcast is called the Fire Round. Uh-oh. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, short questions, and you just have to spit out the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's go. All right. What was the last thing that you ordered on Amazon?
A fish pump for my son's turtle aquarium.
Oh, okay. Super STEM-tastic and Mackie-fied. How would I expect anything else? Okay.
I'm like, the turtle gonna die, boy. The pump broke and you didn't order a new pump. So last night we ordered a pump.
Wait, is the turtle in DC or the turtle is in New Orleans?
My youngest son, the one that's still at home. I got a junior.
Okay. All right.
Now he's in the girls and he's not taking care of his turtle. So that was our conversation.
Okay. Is there a food that you will absolutely not eat?
Ooh, that I absolutely would not eat. That I will not eat.
Not eat.
What you call it? Anchovies? Is that the little fish? I hate those things. Anchovies.
Okay, so we're still in the fish world. So no anchovies in any grilled, canned, nothing.
Not on a pizza, nothing. Nothing.
All right. What is your biggest pet peeve?
People burping.
So even if it's an accident, you probably would give them the side eye.
Everybody knows it. My whole team, family, wife, everybody knows. If you burp, I'm just gonna lose it. Right?
Okay. All right. If you had a 100% chance of succeeding, what would you attempt to do?
What I'm doing right now, trying to get 1 million kids in the STEM every day. That would transform our world.
All right. Last 2 questions, Dr. Mackie. What would you tell yourself 20 years ago?
Well, 20 years ago. 20 years. I'm trying to figure out what year is this. 20 years ago, I tell myself, look, take the risk. Take the risk. It is absolutely worth it. Get up and go after, many things catch your eyes. Very few things catch your heart. We go after those things that catch our eyes. Follow your heart And in the end, even if you don't succeed, you're going to be at peace.
I love it. Okay. And last question, Dr. Mackie. How much of your success do you attribute to hard work and how much from God's grace and or luck?
For me to be able to do the things that I've done and accomplish what I've been able to accomplish, me plus God is an army and a majority. I believe that, there's 4 things we should get up and study every day, and it's spirituality, training, ethnicity, culture, and money. Spirituality is the first one, and people say, what about religion? I say, my grandmother taught me religion is for people who are afraid to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who've been there already. So my relationship with God and the grace of God, supporting me and believing in me when nobody else did, whispering in my ear that, you can do this when nobody believed, that has played such a large role. Now the work got to be done. See, people like, they go to church and pray and they believe in God, and then they sit there and wait, and God like, no, you need to get up off your behind. God over there where the work is, and you sitting there talking about, I'm waiting on God. No, God waiting on you. He ain't never moved, So right. You got to put in the work. Like people like, I'm working hard. I mean, you're working hard doing nothing, fool. You got to put in the work, but you got to have that spiritual foundation to know that when the world come after you, and they gonna come after you. If you're trying to do something, people in the world gonna come after you. You got to have that spiritual foundation to know that you got on your arm and you're gonna be all right.
Your whole family has sayings, from your grandma to your son. Black minds don't matter. Wait, what did your grandma say? I loved it, and I forgot that quickly, but I'm gonna play it back.
Religion. She said, religion is for people who are afraid to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who've been there already.
See, I got about 3 T-shirts from this conversation from the Mackies. But this was amazing. Nothing short of what I expected, Dr. Mackie. I appreciate you getting up so early on a Friday to join us. I learned more today, and I'm still very interested. I know people say that all the time on this STEM Miami. I did my homework. Now I'm like, okay, what's the next step? So we'll have to talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I want to leave the people with this. In the 21st century, our children are only going to have three options. Either they're going to take something, break something, and or make something. If we don't give our children the education, the skills, and the training to make something, like make a living, make a life, make a difference, that's only going to leave them with the 2 options that we see on the news every night. So Brittany, I know Britt happens, but we don't want that for our children. So thank you for having me and allowing me to talk to your community and to everybody who's listening. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, and have a fabulous weekend. We will be in touch.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.